Moving to our top story this hour, after almost 9 countries agrees to Europe's new COVID health certificate plan rolled out to unlock travel within the bloc, the EU Parliament is set to vote to clear it today. EU Justice Commissioner Didier Reynders announced that more than 1 million Europeans have received the new health certificate. The Parliament is expected to pass the bill with a humongous majority after an agreement between the MEPs and EU's 27 member nations ahead of the crucial summer tourism season. The certificate will reflect the certificate bearer's COVID-19 history and vaccination details from July 1st. This will rule out the need for quarantine norms and further testing from travellers. The bloc wants as many EU countries to start the plan as early as possible. This due to fears of a huge surge in demand in the summer months. 9 EU nations, including Greece, Spain and Germany, are issuing the certificates. The EU digital COVID certificates can be presented either in the online form or printed out on paper. It features a QR code for verification, which border officials and venue staff can use to check against digital signatures stored securely in Luxembourg servers. Only minimal data of the bearer are included on the certificates, and they will expire after a year from the date of issue. EU lawmakers and capitals also agreed that when it comes to proof of vaccinations, only the jabs authorised by the European Medicines Agency, so far those from BioNTech, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna and Johnson & Johnson would be accepted in all EU countries. But individual countries can also decide to accept for their territory only others, such as one produced by China or Russia's Sputnik V vaccine. Reynders said work was ongoing to also expand the use of the EU digital COVID certificate so that it is accepted beyond Europe. Now, WION correspondent Stuart Smith is joining us live from Brussels for more on this story. Stuart, what more do we know about Europe's COVID health certificate plan?
Well, we understand the European Parliament, which is made up of representatives across Europe, lawmakers have passed this proposal, 546 to 93 with 51 abstentions. So exactly as you said, it was not a controversial piece of legislation. Most lawmakers wanted this to go through. Freedom of movement in Europe is one of the most fundamental tenets of the project. And so getting people able to move easily and freely around the continent again was really important. The issues, though, that they were debating originally revolved around privacy, how to make a certificate which does not invade people's privacy. That was knocked out and seemingly agreed upon quite early on in the process with this use of QR codes which can be scanned but don't necessarily record personal data at checkpoints, and also don't retain any more information than is needed to allow someone to pass through the border, which is simply whether they are vaccinated, whether they are tested, or whether they have recovered from COVID-19. And this QR code system has already, as you said, been applied for by 1 million people. The EU says it's ready to go. A lot of the countries within the European Union have already got their systems up and running. So it looks like the process is on track from the 1st of July, which is when people will be able to travel again much more easily. And that will help, especially with the upcoming holiday season, which within the European Union tends to last from July to August.
Absolutely. And the WHO maintains that it's not sure whether vaccines cleared under emergency authorization provide sufficient protection from the virus. How then does the EU intend to endorse digital certificates?
Well, so the idea is to use only, within the EU, to only use European Medicines Agency approved vaccines, which is quite limited compared to the World Health Organization. That's the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna one, Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca. But individual countries can also allow people in, such as Hungary, which has used the Sputnik V vaccine created by Russia. Now, that's not an EMA approved vaccine, but you can understand there'll be pressure for Hungary's neighbours to allow those vaccinated with Sputnik V to enter. In terms of making sure that these vaccines do work well against perhaps new variants or just in general, the European Union is making sure that those entering the bloc go through a different system. So this allows travel within European Union states, but it's a much stricter regime for those coming from outside. So, for example, variants that originated in South Africa, the UK or India, it will be a much harder process for people coming from those countries to get in. And at the moment, the EU has a white list of countries where you can enter with vaccinations without having to quarantine, but there are very few, only about 10 right now, and only the safest countries in the world. That will hopefully reassure European Union leaders that this will not allow a gateway for new variants and the situation to escalate.
Thank you, Stuart Smith, for joining us live from Brussels with your insights there. Moving